Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel, Huub Hildenbrand Guitar Academia. Today I will talk about playing the guitar with a bow. That's actually I'm doing quite frequently. I think already like 4 or 5, maybe more CDs of mine, they at one or more tracks they feature this technique, and I thought maybe it would be a good idea to just to show what I am doing, and maybe some things I figured out about bowing the guitar, and because I get asked that quite often when I do that at concerts. Of course, like people come and say, "Oh, and they never heard this kind of a thing, playing the guitar with a bow," and for me, it's actually quite a normal thing by now. But yeah, I think it might be interesting for you. So that's why I'm doing that lesson, or that take the time here in that video to show you some stuff. One thing I get asked actually quite often is why you're not playing cello or violin? Why are you doing that on the guitar? And that's an interesting question, of course. But for me, it's I'm a guitarist and I have that one guitar, and all I want to do is on that guitar. So maybe maybe my guitar is one of the very few guitars who on which so many different things and styles and techniques are played, because I'm not changing it. I mean, normally, like what people do if they are more busy with Indian music, they buy a sitar or sarod and they do that, or they are interested in microtones, so they get a fretless instrument or instrument with additional frets, and so that they get the instrument which is actually made for that purpose, or for that style, for that culture, musical culture. My approach is a bit different. I'm thinking more like the vocal cords of a singer. You can't change it. These are always your vocal cords, and so the challenge, of course, is how to stretch the limits or the borders to come across certain restrictions you have with what you have. And so my idea is to really only have this instrument, but be able to go in a lot of different directions. Of course, acknowledge the restrictions of the instrument, but at the same time, I do not want. Actually, I don't want to be a mediocre sarod player, for example, or mediocre oud player. I want to be the best guitar player I can possibly be, and I'm so much. I like all these different sounds of different instruments, also bowed instruments. Very much. So I try to do that on my guitar, and that way I'm really getting more and more one with the instrument, and also I'm able to maybe not with a bow, maybe that's not true with a bow, but with the other techniques, to be able to do anything at any time without changing the instrument. Of course, that's also more easy when traveling and giving concerts, not to take too much instruments with me. And yeah, but I think also what I figured out, what is like also like a good thing, that this whole process, like focusing on that one guitar, also in a way I also developed a kind of maybe a kind of a language where all these different colors come together and actually get in a way get more and more one. So if I would pick a sarod, then it would just be like a very bad sarod player playing. Or if I take a cello or violin, I mean, it would be horrific, maybe. But I'm a guitarist, so I do that on my guitar, you know, and that way it's about another thing. It's about me or my music, about this I hope you get it. It's for me it's actually very hard to express that, but maybe it already came across. Okay, anyway, I show you the way what I'm doing with the guitar, with the bow, and maybe just a side story why I started doing that is actually my mother. She had at an early age she had violin lessons, and she actually gave up because she had a very strict teacher, and in the lessons she also like destroyed many bows actually, because she was so angry. And so but anyway, we had a violin and the bow in the case always in our apartment. And when I got more and more into music and playing the guitar, I started to discover this. First I tried to play a little bit on the violin. I tried to figure out this instrument, and then I thought, why can't I use this bow also for the guitar? And that was actually a quite early start with the whole thing. And yeah, and then I more and more it's actually this whole technique with playing with the bow is like a process. I'm not sitting too much down and practice this. You know, it's more like it's more evolving by recording CD, maybe one track. I just use a bow, and then I always in that. These are more the times where I develop it. And also during concerts, and yeah, that's actually so it's quite a natural development. I don't have a system or something like that. I figure things out, and then I might change something, and then yeah, maybe in 5 years I do completely different things, or I'm much better. I hope so, of course. All right, just the basic setup. I have this is a children's cello bow. It was not very expensive. I actually do not really remember where I bought it. Yeah, so it's for cello, but it's for children. So that's yeah, that's just what I'm using here. And very important is this here. This actually comes from a guitar strap, and so what I am doing is I hope you can see that I put my mic a bit higher. I put that around here, and then I do it like that. And here I have this, I can put the pin of the guitar in it so that it kind of rests here. Yeah, I hope you see that. So that's actually a really cool thing I figured out. I didn't have to change anything, it was already made for that. Okay, so I put it around here. And then I take my guitar, and I have this pin here. Oops. And that pin I will put here on this strap. So at least the guitar is not falling down. And in a way have a little bit of stability because also of this other leg here. But I still not really figured out a way where it really stays like that. I tried to put some cushion here, but it really didn't work too much. So I can have it kind of balanced like that, but it's really like a disadvantage of other bowed instruments. it's not stable. I have to stabilize it actually with my playing hand. So I have to, at the same time I'm playing, I also have to stabilize the guitar. So it's a bit tricky. Okay, but that's actually pretty much it. So okay. The good thing about this archtop guitar, but it's also true for acoustic guitars, is that the bridge is actually not like straight. It's not even where the strings are resting. It's a bit arched. So that way I kind of reach also strings which are not the outside strings. So I can also play other strings, not only the E strings, and sometimes they're really, it's possible to play just one string in the middle of the other strings. Yeah, but actually it's not, it's very like subtle or like very, it's in a way it's always a bit searching, but that's what I like actually with this technique also, because it's not like I practice that and now I play that and it's really 100%. No, it's always like searching, and always I come to places where I think, oh, that was not good, but of course also places where I think, oh, that's nice. I go more into that direction. Oh, that's also possible. Oh, great! I didn't know that. So that's actually really a fun thing. I really enjoy this playing with a bow. Okay, so the most obvious and easy thing with that bow and with the guitar with these steel strings is to play the high E string. That's just very, yeah. I'm really thinking, I'm not thinking like I want to sound like a violin or I want to sound like a cello. Actually, maybe I started playing with the bow when I was in that mode, but there are also like other instruments, like viola da gamba. Maybe you know Jordi Savall. That's like so beautiful sound, so beautiful, and he also has like smaller versions of this instrument, and that goes more into that direction actually. What the sound like very rich of harmonics, of overtones. And also you have the lura. I have one project, Ninemia. It's with a really amazing musician, Zacharias Spiridakis. He's a lura player, Cretan lura player. So like the tradition of Crete. But you also have this kemençe, for example, or kamançe in Persian music, kemençe in Turkish music, which is kind of very, very connected sound-wise with this richness of overtones to that to bowing these high strings on the guitar. So I'm in a way when I play I have more that ideal, maybe you can say, but at the same time I try to just find my own stuff and also my own sound. Actually, you know, with sound, you can say nothing is good or bad. You know, it's just it really depends what you want, and to really find out what you want, you have to listen to a lot of stuff, and you have to do a lot of stuff to more and more get what you or learn what it really inspires you or what really touches your heart. So. Okay, I'll show you just a bit what I'm doing here with a high string, high E string. Okay, that was just playing on the high E string, and in the not Macam maybe, in the scale of C Aeolian. Just a little improvisation actually. Now what I can do, the next step would be to add the B string. So if I stay, for example, in that C Aeolian thing, for example here, I can play the high E string, but I also can add. And when I do that, actually here in this tonality, it's actually quite nice, because very easily, you hear that note here? Very easily also I reach, also on accident actually, I reach the G string. So I can also use that here to have this perfect fifth also down one octave from this G. So it's really like, yeah, it works very nice actually. So I don't have to be too much concerned not to touch that. So it's actually, yeah, it's a good thing. Okay, so I can do. And I can hold that and then just play on the E string on the high. At the same time, I have of course possibilities to also play something on the B string. I can have an E flat major chord, for example. Yeah, so I can play with these. So I can add. Yeah, I can think a bit polyphonic. You can say. Yeah, so, and when I'm really like finding the note, I mean, when I'm really very exact, I also can play this E flat here. Yeah, but it's very dangerous actually, because I very easily reach with my bow reach a high E string, so I have this bad sound. So you have to, of course, you have to find certain ways which work, which work for you, for the instrument and for this technique. But I think that's with everything, you know. Also, for example, with the oud, when you play on the oud in a certain strange key, it's also very likely that it's not really sounding very good, because you don't have any open strings which are resonating. Yeah, so that gives the whole oud a very strange kind of a sound. And yeah, so why not thinking in like when you play sarod or sitar in Indian music, you have always the same root. You never change it. So so we can reduce ourselves with an instrument, with a guitar, playing with a bow, to say, okay, there are only certain keys I can play in, but that's okay, you know. It's actually like maybe an inner fight, like maybe every jazz musician would have, or every maybe classical trained musician, because it's so, you think it's kind of like very strange to not play in certain keys, you know. I mean, just reduce yourself to certain keys. It's like but that's very frequent and very typical and characteristic, of course, in like folk music. Maybe any folk music, if you really have a musician playing a folk instrument, he's maybe or she's maybe just having like few keys. All right. So the next thing, what I can do, of course, is to play on the low E string. Yeah. If I stay with C minor, let's see here. And here's something interesting, what I'm doing quite often, what I like very much, is also to combine bending with a bow. Like okay. Next thing I can do is also to, like the same what I did with my high E string, to add the B string. So the neighbor string to add my A string. Here, when I'm here, I can also go to my D string. And then I can play whole chords with this bowing technique, really touching every string. I have to make a certain kind of a movement. So for example, F minor. Yeah, so like chords which really have where I can play every string, like bar chords. All right, I think I think you got an idea. If you have more questions, which maybe I just actually I didn't have any plan for this lesson. I just thought I show you some stuff here about this technique. If you have any questions, please leave your comments down below in the description or in the comments area, and I can maybe later I do another video with that topic. And I also put some links in the description below to some tracks you can listen to where I'm doing that actually with a bow. Maybe you should do that. What else? No, that's it. Thanks for watching. My name is Huub Hildenbrand, and by the way, there's of course no PDF for this lesson now, but you can also go to my website huubhildenbrand.com The link is also down in the description below. There is a button where you can also donate to support my channel. Yeah, that's it. So, thanks for watching. My name is Huub Hildenbrand.